Y'all can't ride my wave, y'all can't get in my zone. I would be lying if I said that I made it here on my own. I would be lying if I said that I did it all by myself. I'ma keep looking to the hills, to the place that I find my help. Come on. Y'all can't ride my wave, y'all can't get in my zone. Get in my zone. I would be lying if I said that I made it here on my own. On my own. I would be lying if I said that I did it all by myself. By myself. I'ma keep looking to the hills, to the place that I find my help. Come on. I'm blasting off just like a rocket boy. Yeah, you know I'm about to take flight.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Coach Doug, in another episode of some P&W Trout Slayer. Well, unfortunately, guys, I wasn't able to get out on the lake this week, so you guys gonna get a how-to. So the how-to is how to make a double hook Kokanee Hoochie using a snell knot. So I saw this post on American Lake Anglers on Facebook, and it was from the Fallen Outdoors group, and there are a bunch of veterans, and they're having their third annual American Lake Kokanee event on the 23rd of May this year. And I was like, oh, it's a bunch of veterans. I can't take part because I got things going on. So you know what? Let me hit them up, see if I can donate some Hoochies. And so I got a hold of a Shane Hunter. That's one of the guys holding the event, and the other guys is Matthew Knight. But anyways, I got a hold of the Shane guy, and I told him I was willing to donate Hoochies, and so I made about 300 of them, twist them all up, put the hooks and stuff all on myself. So we're gonna go ahead and show you how to twist one up today. So the reason why, like I said, I'm not able to be out in the lake is because of my knee. My knee I have arthritis really bad in my knee now, so had to get the doctors involved, and so now I'm in the process of become a disabled guy, and then get my parking pass so I can park in the handicap spot. I'm still able to work, so no retirement for me yet. So just got to deal with the pain. So that's about it. That's why I didn't get out this week. Got a rusted knee, but I will be, like I said, I'll be back out there next week and getting you another one of those fishing videos. So next time you see me, we're gonna be twisting up a Kokanee Hoochie. Yeah, son, that's how it's done. All right, guys, this is what you're gonna need to make a Kokanee double hook Hoochie. Of course, you're gonna need 2 hooks. I like to use size 8, preferably, but any size for whatever you prefer will work. Of course, I got a leader. This is a 3-foot leader, so that means you can adjust how far you want your Hoochie from your dodger. I usually give about well, not 3 foot, but it's a 2.5 foot leader, and I usually like to give that much because if I'm making them for other people, I do not know how long their preference is, so they get to choose their own preference of how long they got their leader. So me, I like to have mine about 6 to 7 up to 10 inches from the dodger. Maybe sometimes 5 inches, just depends. Okay, next you got the flasher, the spinner blade, which is, I think it's an inch blade lengthwise. And then you have the clevis. This is what connects the spinner blade to the line so it can spin. Then I got 2 fishing beads. These are 5 millimeter. You can see they're both different colors, but it don't matter because the one that's orange is actually going inside the shell, and this is the one that's going to sit on top to allow the spinner to spin. And then you got, of course, I like to use the pink Hoochie, which is the preferred color for Kokanee. And then this is what my signature piece is. It's the stack bead. It's the black stack bead, and that is what goes inside the tube of the Hoochie that goes behind that bead that we're gonna put in there. And the reason why I put that bead in there is because it pops that Hoochie down just a little bit tad more, so that second hook is like around in here, and then I have that first hook maybe at the edge here or maybe down to here. It just depends on what your preference is. So that's what you're going to need to create this Kokanee Hoochie, double hook Hoochie. All right, guys, I'm back. So instead of using those small size 8 hooks that I had out, I got some bigger hooks and a 30-pound test line so I could show you how to rig up the snell rig. And this is the size I'm using right here. These are some big hooks. These are actually the hooks that I'm actually going to be using for the shark fishing that I'm going to be doing soon. All right, guys. So first we're going to want to go ahead and get your hook. I like to have mine facing downwards. And then you take your line and you run it from the underside because you want your line to come out like this. If you come from the top, then the line's going to come up from the top and then it's going to make your hook bend upwards. So like I said, you want to come from the bottom. You want to pull out a good length. That's why also another reason why I cut a 2.5 or 2.5 a 2.5 inch leader, because you're going to be cutting some of this off and you got to wind some of this over the hook. So anyways, yes. So I got enough here. I usually do the 2 sides of the 2 sides length of the hook. That's how much I usually pull out. And as you can see, I'm pitching the end here right now so that I don't lose my length. Okay. So now you're going to take it, that length that you pulled out, you're going to run it back up underneath and back through the eyelid. Oops. Sorry, guys. There you go. Make sure you, if you lose length, make sure you pull some more out. And you're going to make a loop. So you still got that one end here. You're starting your loop. I like to have my loop as big, almost as big as the hook, because I'll tell you why in a minute here. So I'm still pitching this end so I don't lose anything. And what I'm going to want to do, still pinching, not losing no length, I'm going to grab it here. I'm going to push forward and get that excess line pushed forward, because I don't want a bubble line piece sticking out after I'm done. Now you can see here, I'm a little bit too long than the hook, so I can pull this here and it'll shorten it a little bit. Yep, still a little bit too long, and bam. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pinch this end and pull it tight. And for the simple fact is because I'm going to want to wind this around the hook in this loop. And if I have it bowled out here, this will cause all problems and your line might slide off and stuff like that. So I like to pinch this right here. Because now what you're going to do is you're going to take that free end and you're going to wrap it around while pinching the eyelet with the other end of the line. So you don't move your length. You're going to take this line and you're going to wind it 7 times. You could do it 8, 9 times. It all depends. 7. I found out 7 times is enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And because it's such big hooks, you would probably, if you were using this size hook, you probably want to do it more. But 7 times on that little size 8 hook. Okay, so now you got that tab end right here. You're going to want to take this free end and run it through that loop. Okay, and you're going to pull up on it. And you're going to let go here and pull the line behind it as you're pulling up at the top. Here you go. So now it's cinched right here. See, now you don't have a bubble here, right? So what I like to do is I like to grab a hold, and then I grab a hold here and here, making it tight, and then I push up with my fingers onto this eyelid, push it upwards. And then I release, get a better grip, and I pull while I'm pulling on this right side so that I don't get a bubble. And see how it's cinching down? It's cinching down, the bam. Look at that. Look at that. There you go. Now, I'm not done yet, but you can see how it coiled. It's perfect, and it's locked in, and it's running through the bottom of the eyelid. Now, my little hookies, I like to run that into the hole here. Take that, grab the end here tight in here, and give it a little tug. Because what that's going to do is going to cinch that down, and also ensure that if a fish bites it, look, it's not letting go. But don't tug too hard, because you're only using like a 6-8 pound line when you're actually making these hoochies. Okay, so if you pull too much, you might break it. See, I'm using a 30 pound line right now on that big 8-aught hook here. All right, so now you got that all cinched down. You have this tag in here. All you gotta do is just gotta clip that. I don't have my fingernail clipper here, so I'm gonna just use these scissors. And then you just cut the tag down as small as you can get it. Bam. There it is, guys. That's the first hook. And there's your tail end. Go ahead and you can discard that. And you got your first hook on already, guys. All right, now to add the second hook. All right, guys, we got our second hook now. So now you're going to go ahead and grab the other end of the leader. Now, remember when we started the first hook, I told you to come from the bottom. Now, we're going to actually come from the top because we're doing the second hook. Now, I know a lot of people like to put the second hook on first and leave leader and then pull out and then do the last hook. But I like to do this hook first and then put the second leader on, or second hook on, because I found it was easier for me to adjust the gap between my two hooks. So that's why I do the second hook, the back hook last. But anyways, so instead of coming up from the bottom, we're going to go from the top. Pull it through. I like to pull it through and let it go, slide all the way down to the other one. And then that's when I pull and I take my measurement. Now, I want enough gap in between my hooks to when I set the hoochie on top, that this is coming right just out of the just almost out of the little fray here. And then the second hook, I like it out of here, exposed. That's how I like my hook. Some people like it just down the bottom of the skirt, but I like my protruding from the skirt enough. So I make sure I've been doing these for a while, so I know how far I want my my line. So that's something that you're gonna have to play with. All right, anyways, so you ran it through once, you got your gap, I'm pinching it down, and now I'm gonna run it through the top one more time, because now we're gonna make another loop. I'm gonna pinch it down, start measuring it. That's a little bit too long. See, still a little bit too long. So I'm actually gonna pull the back piece. It's gonna pull it out with the leader. And again, see here, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna pinch it as I move this leader forward. Still a little bit too much, so I'm gonna pull the back here. There we go. See, now it's the length I want it. It's usually about the length of the hook. And then I'm going to pinch it. Make it a little tight right there. Make sure I'm tight back here. Good to go. And now I'm going to take this hook part, this leader hook right here, the front hook, and I'm going to do 5 times. Now, you don't need, for the second hook, you don't need to be twisted around that as much. So 1. You see that loop's trying to move on me because I have too much of a loop, and that's why I have it long like that, so it don't slide off. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to go ahead and take that, and we're going to run that hook right up in the loop. Get that knot out of there. There you go. And you're going to cinch as you're still pinching. See there, boom. And now what you're going to do is you're going to put tension here on this hook, and you're going to release this as you're making tension here, and you're pulling. And then, like I said, you're going to cinch up on it, push. Cinch up on it, push. And one thing that I did not do, guys, make sure you wet your line. I forgot, that's the biggest one. Wet your line. And then boom. And there you go. You have your double snell knot. Double hook snell knot. All right, guys. Now that we got our knot, our snell knot double hooks made, now we're going to go ahead and assemble the hoochie together. So I'm going to go ahead and take my my leader with the hooks already attached. Remember, size 8 hooks. See, look at that. Perfect. That's perfect. See, if I would have done these on this and showed you guys, you would have never be able to see that. So I did it on those bigger hooks. I'm pretty proud of myself. That stuff looks nice. Anyways, so we're going to go ahead and grab the back end of the open leader right there. We're going to go ahead and grab the black stack beads, and we're going to put the small end on first so that the hooks are coming out the back of that. Next, I'm going to take that orange bead because that's going inside, because I want the pink out there, because that's what attracts the Kokanee. They like the color pink. They like anything silver, and they love red hooks. That's why I use this whole combination. I don't even use any different color hoochies anymore. Okay, so now that I got the black stack beads and the fishing bead on, I'm going to go ahead and grab my hoochie. Now, when you buy these in bulk, these tips you have to cut. They're solid, so you usually have to cut those in order to fit this line through. So I'm going to go ahead and run this line through the back of the hoochie, up through, and then there it is. I'm going to pull it through. Oops, it's right there. There we go. Remember, guys, I am not a professional. I do not get paid to do this. This is something I learned over the years. I remember when I first learned about hoochies, Kokanee hoochies. I'm from the ghetto, guys. So when you say hoochie, I'm thinking something else. So yeah. But anyways, I love these. I fell in love with these. So now, with adding that bead is up in the head right here, and then that black stack beads is right here. But you see where it lets that hook come down some more, and then allows my back hook to drag. I like this setup. I have no complaints. That's how I catch my Kokanee every time. Sometimes I may have that a little bit longer sometimes. Maybe out to here sometimes. But that's okay. I've caught Kokanees that way. So, bam. All right, next. So that pink bead right here is the next in the stack here. And another thing, if you learn how to make your own lures effective too, you'll save some money, guys. You'll save a lot of money. All right, so now next I'm going to go ahead and grab this little piece right here. This clevet. I don't know if you can see it. Bam, right here, the little clevet. So you're going to take the spin blade right here. You're going to run it through. You want the bubble side up, or it's never going to work in the water. It's never going to spin. So you're going to take the line, and you're going to run it through the little holes that are right there on the end. I don't know if you can see that, guys, that fine. Now my old ass has got to see if I can see that with my eyes. All right, there you go. I got it in there. Bam. And there you go, guys. You have created your first Kokanee Hoochie. And then I like to go ahead and I'll put like corn or crappie bites on the end of these. Yellow, pink, green, whatever color you want to use. And then you can choose how long you want your leader from the Dodger. Because you still got excess. Like I said, usually when I make these for other people, I'll put a whole bunch. Because I know some people who like to use the whole line. And they still catch kokanee. I know some people who use only 5 inches, 6 inches. And catch kokanee. You know, it's whatever your preference is. Okay, guys? All right. Again, this is your double hook Kokanee Hoochie. Yeah, son. That's how it's done. All right, guys. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you didn't know how to do this, make a snell knot and to do double hook Kokanee Hoochies. Like I said, now you do. Again, I'm not a professional. I go ahead and I learn things and I implement them, see if they work, and everything I've implemented and learned, it's worked. So, like I said, it's all about your own preference. But like I said, I'm making 300 of these for that for the tournament for the Fallen Outdoors, their 3rd annual Kokanee tournament. That's on May 23rd. If you guys are local to American Lake here in Washington State in Lakewood, Pierce County, and you want to attend this event, go ahead and get a hold of me so I can hook you up with the point of contacts. So here, real quick, I'm going to show you what the Hoochies look like. All right, guys. Yep, there are those Hoochies. Told you 300 of them. Bam. All twisted up by my own lonesome fingers. No help. I've tested the strength on them a few times. Checked all the hooks. Make sure everything had all the components. So I'm gonna get these guys out. Get these out to them guys, and hopefully they catch them some kokanee. So like I said, next week you'll see me out on the lake. So I'll have another fishing video for you. Hey, for you guys who are all local, make sure you get your fishing license. You should have gotten on April 1st. So now they're doing the paperless license where you have your app on your phone and all that good stuff. Yes, the licenses went up. For the total package license I did, it was almost like 150, 160 bucks. So yeah, ouch. So until next time, guys. Yeah, son, that's how it's done. Ha ha.